We have for verse 3 of the 10th chapter of the Gospel of John. We have an ongoing conversation which appears to be Jesus exercising a critique of the religious leaders who he is styling here, though somewhat obliquely, as false shepherds who sneak in, of course, the back door and are not the appropriate and true shepherds. And although he hasn't quite gotten to the punchline yet, we have the feeling that he's heading toward the affirmation that he is the true shepherd. But at this point, he's still giving what amounts to a lesson in the science of being a shepherd. And so we continue in verse 3 here, tuto. This is the demonstrative pronoun. It's the dative masculine singular. So it'd be an indirect object ordinarily. So to this, or to this one, and then ho thuroros. This is from the verb theoreo, which means to behold. It's a word that literally means a watcher or somebody that beholds, but here it's rendered sometimes the porter, it's the gatekeeper really, it's the person who's watching the gate and making sure that only the appropriate people pass by. And so the gatekeeper to this one, direct object, anoige. From enoigo, I open. This is the third person singular, present active indicative. So the porter opens to this one. Then here we have the connective, kai, and ta probata. This is the word for sheep. They hear, akue. This is the second or the third person singular, but you'll recall that a neuter nominative noun can sometimes take a singular verb, so that's the idea here. The sheep hear, and then the word akuo can take the genitive, usually does, and that's why it's put in the genitive, tes phones out, to hear the voice of him. So the porter opens to this one, and the sheep of this one hear his voice, kai, the connective, ta idia, the of his own is the idea, the word idia referring to something that is referring back to oneself, and the his own probata. This is now in the accusative, plural, the his own sheep, he calls phone. This is actually related to the word back here, phones, but this is a verb at this point, phone, third person singular, present active indicative of phoneo, to call, or voice, to shout, to sound out. And so his own sheep he called onama. Kata means according to, and so thus we have here according to name, kai. Exage, from exago, to lead out is the idea, so third person singular, present active indicative, he leads out, auta, the accusative, plural, neuter of the pronoun referring back to this neuter noun probata, so he leads them out. The porter opens the door to the appropriate individual. That person is then able to reach his sheep, call them, lead them out. And of course, the whole point here is there's a kind of trust that is between the true shepherd and his sheep, and that is not a trust that is shared by those who come in illegitimately, which was the point Jesus was originally making.